Alright, so for this 90 Sports a Soldier video, I wanted to make a video with a set of clips of Bobby Knight's last game as head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers. It occurred during the 2000 NCAA tournament against Pepperdine. If you want to go ahead, fast forward, because I know many of you came to click on the video to watch the clips and expressions, so go ahead, fast forward as made a marker. But right now I just want to briefly kind of set up the situation before the game and what happened during the game. So about 3 days before Indiana was set to play Pepperdine, CNN Sports Illustrated, they aired a report. And in that report, it said that Neil Reed, that he was choked by Bobby Knight during practice. Now at this time, the full video, it did not come out yet. But leading up to this tournament, this was obviously a distraction for Indiana. So what happened is, prior to this game, during a press conference, they asked Bobby Knight about the situation. Bobby Knight, being Bobby Knight, won the offensive. But anyways, this was obviously, perhaps a major distraction. But anyways, as for the game, 6-seeded Indiana, they were going up against 11-seeded Pepperdine. Now, Pepperdine, I don't really know how to explain their defensive philosophy, because they had all kinds of defensive traps, all kinds of presses, as it seemed like that they had the green light to press and trap whenever they wanted to. And Indiana, they really didn't have any answers, as this was the worst game that I ever saw Indiana play, even worse than their previous NCAA tournament game against St. John's, but this was the worst game that I ever saw a Bobby Knight coach team play. And in this game, Pepperdine, they won by 20 points. And during this game, there were some angry reactions from Bobby Knight, and there were also some reactions where Bobby Knight, he just seemed so stunned. Now, I'm not a body language expert, but there were times where it just seemed like Bobby Knight, he was just so confused, and he was just stunned, and he didn't know what to say. And some of those moments, some of those expressions really have stuck with me throughout all these years, and that's where I remember this game from, was Bobby Knight just being stunned. So without further ado, Bobby Knight's last game as Indiana head coach in the 2000 NCAA tournament as Indiana took on Pepperdine.
Once again, another lefty. I believe that there really is an advantage because defensively you have guys jumping towards the right side of your body when you shoot the ball if you're a right-handed shooter. And Bob Knight knows about defense as well as anyone in the country as far as coaching is concerned.
His team trailing 5-2 in the early going, 5-4. Here's Armstrong. That lefty jump shot off the rim. Fight for the loose ball, and Shepard lays it home. And the foul.
I'll tell you, you can tell right off the bat. There is going to be a lot.
5 points for Nick Shepard and an 8-4 lead for Pepperdine. Taking it away, Indiana. And here come the Waves. Prince leaning in. Gibbs with a follow. That wouldn't go. It's knocked out of bounds. And Pepperdine will hold on to it. Controversy this week swirling around Bob Knight, head coach at Indiana. Neil Reed, a former player for the Hoosiers, in a report this week claimed that Knight choked him during a practice session in 1997. We had a chance to speak with Knight before his press conference yesterday. He said, hey, listen, I'm not going to answer any of those questions. I'm going to deal with it in the press conference setting.
He wants to focus on his team and let the focus really be on the team and not him. Unfortunately, his name pops up in the media, with the media quite often.
A jump ball off the Newton miss, and Indiana will hold on to the possession. And that obviously will add fuel to the fire when he gets into those press conference settings, and some fairly bizarre statements will come out of his mouth.
Bob Knight has to figure it out in a hurry with the way Pepperdine has started. He usually makes it happen defensively.
Odell. This was earlier. Bob Knight emphatically speaking with Dane Fife, who currently finds himself on the bench. Here's Archie, leading a 4-on-3 development. Jump shot, Armstrong, got it for 3.
One thing they do very well, and has to make an adjustment at halftime, is they're getting down the floor in a hurry with their spreads, and they're finding open spots. Look at the spread right now.
Another turnover for Indiana.
Terrific spacing on the floor.
Gibbs a 3.
Look it. The lefties aren't showing that they can shoot the basket, but it's been a physical brand of basketball also. It seemed that early on, Bob Knight could sense that underneath the baskets was going to be very, very difficult.
Pepperdine now on an 8-0 run. Prince tacks on another, and a timeout. The Waves leading it 39-19 over Indiana.
Trying to fight their way in, getting a couple of breaks. Bob Knight trying to figure it all out.
And a timeout taken with 26 seconds to play first half. Pepperdine with a lead, 43-27.
Something going towards the basket.
Lewis, pump fake, and he's called for steps. Bob Knight frustrated as we check in with Dwayne Ballard.
Hi, and Bob Knight told his team at the half they looked really, really bad, and the seniors especially had better wake up or this would be it for them.
Watching these games from Florida.
And has to be happy with how his son has prepared his team and how they've come out to play. Newton turns it over with a little hop step.
Now this Indiana team, the number 6 seed in the East, 20-8 this season, 10-6 in the Big Ten. They've now turned it over 10 times, and Bob Knight up big on the number 6 seed here in the East in Buffalo. And a giveaway, Indiana with unforced error after unforced error.
Look at it and say, how many times 3 minutes deep into the second half of a basketball game has he only taken 2 shots?
Indiana just has to get this to a manageable number. Not sure if they're going to be able to do it considering the way Pepperdine has kept the pressure on. Michael Lewis will pick up his first personal foul. About the travel earlier for Pepperdine and Oregon, who lost earlier in overtime against Seton Hall.
Also, with Newton down low.
The Waves 0 for 10 here in the second half. And a quick whistle. Lewis trying to defend.
That takes the sting out of that Indiana defense just then. They battled so hard.
Worst NCAA tournament loss for Indiana. Just have to go back to last year, 86-61. A 25-point defeat at the hands of St. John's. Second round action.
There was a regular pattern to it. This really does throw you off. But you could say that it should really affect Pepperdine more if you're going to push into that.
(73-51), and Bob Knight has been vocal through the years about late games, taking teams out of their normal regimen, and it just so happens that he drew the late one in this East Regional bracket. On a controversy, a surprise here in Buffalo. The 11th seeded Waves have knocked off 6th seeded Indiana, 77-57 the final.
Real quick, I just want to thank all those who have supported 90 Sports Nostalgia. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and check out the links below for Patreon. Thank you so much. Bobby Knight's last game as Indiana head coach in the 2000 NCAA tournament as Indiana took on Pepperdine.